Tell us about Jawz of Life.
Well,
tell us how you got your start, what you're doing.
All right. Born and raised, ATL, Crawford Lawn, baby.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My mama had a little bit of insurance. So we
yeah, you didn't have to hit Grady.
Shout out to the Grady baby, though. You know what I'm saying? I've been to Grady. Excuse me. But, yeah, man, I went to Alcorn State. You know, had a baseball, down there on baseball, and things didn't work out. I was supposed to get drafted, but things didn't work out. So, you know, my next passion after baseball at the time was music. So, you know, I just started freestyling, man. That was the time and when we was super on the map. You know, we had Holyfield, the champ, Braves was on point. You know what I'm saying? So I was just down there freestyling. I started battling cats, man, and you know, came home and continued to do it, and folks just said, you know, man, you need to take it serious. You know, so ran into one of my, I'm a Gresham Park dude too. So I ran into one of my old partners from Gresham Park, and he told me that he had a label. And at the time, we got a little cassette together. Yeah, I go back to the cassette.
Yeah, old school.
Yeah, got a little cassette, gave him a demo, signed with his independent company. He really had the funds to push it like he needed, so he turned me over to another independent company called Blue Maze Entertainment. Shout out to Evan Shapiro and Mitch up in New York. So 2001 was like my first deal. And, you know, it was a nice little deal. I would fly back and forth and record. I did most of the album off of 125th and Park up in New York. And that album won the Hip Hop Artist of the Year for Atlanta Local Music 2002. Shout out to Wish Doctor and Timo Goody for rocking with me on the Applejack. A lot of producers, man, that's still here now. You know, worked with me on that first project to help me get there. So. After that, had a deal with a beer company. I know I ain't gonna say the beer company. Had a deal with a beer company after that. Then did an MTV performance with my man DJ Legacy that helped out too. Did my first video, shot it overseas in Bangkok. Toured there for about four cities in Bangkok. 2007. So I just been grinding, man. You know, introduced and brought in the Dungeon family by Ray Murray. Second generation Dungeonese, so shout out to everybody, Rico, Sleeping, everybody in the camp. And, you know, grinding, man, got some new groups now that I'm part of, the Five, Passport, and just going forward, you know, going forward.
So let me ask you, after you dropped that album, you know, what was the next step? What was the next step supposed to be?
Which one, the first one?
Yeah.
Well, you know, with any independent company, you want to try to get it into the hands of people, you know, the people that can help push it. You know what I mean? Big investors and things like that. So the next step was just to try to push it. Is you know, if they was a new company, I was a new artist. So, you know, they pushing me, I'm pushing them. You know, and it got to the point where we just got to the end of the road financially, and you know, after so long, it was just like, okay, what can I be released? You know, and they had no problem with it because they knew we exhausted all the resources pretty much at that point. So they gave me my masters back, which was cool. And, you know, we still maintain a relationship to this day. Matter of fact, we just got, I talked to my former CEO of the label, and he helped line up a deal for one of my new groups as far as a licensing project. So, you know, you never burn bridges, man. You know what I mean? Never burn bridges. You never know when you're going to need somebody.
So exactly where did that connection with you and the Dungeon family happen?
Well, for my first album, it's a funny story. At the time I was married, and my ex-wife's friend was EJ the Witch Doctor. I just found him on Twitter, y'all. Wow. And I had my CD, and I was just like, you know, I respect, a fan. I'm still a fan of the camp. You know what I mean? So I gave a CD to her friend. She gave it back to EJ. EJ hit her back the next day and was like, yo, who's this dude? You know, I want to mess with him. So I called him. We hooked up, you know, and he came through and dropped the verse for me for my first record. And then he was like, well, you know, is there anybody in the camp that you want to work with? So I was like, I'm looking at the budget. I'm looking like, who can I afford? I know I can't go get CeeLo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Gil might hit me for a pin. So I said, well, you know, let me holler at Timo Goody. Holler at Mo Goody. Mo Goody showed love, man, off the bat. You know, and then after that, my manager, my acting manager at the time was DJ Hurricane from the Beastie Boys. Shout out to Hurricane. Hurricane actually took me over to the dungeon, to Dungeonese. And that's how I hooked up with Ray. And then that's, you know, kept going through, man. And they just, you know, brought me in, burnt me, You know what I mean? And so you used to see Backbone and stuff, all that Peppermint in the West End. It's just always been destined for me to be somewhere around the camp. You know what I mean?
Right.
Me and Mike was cool. Slim, I used to see Slim in the streets all the time. Everybody at the Falcon game. It's funny because me and Rico used to see each other at the Falcon game back in the day when we had season tickets, and we used to be walking around, and every time I see him, I'd be like, Rick, what's up? He was like, good, man. We gonna mess with you. We gonna mess with you. And the first time I saw CeeLo, he was like, I was like, what's up, man? I'm Jawz. We was at the Tabernacle at the Root Show. He was like, I'm Jawz. He was like, oh, Shout, I know about you. I know about you, Shout. I know. My ear be tuned to the street. I know about you. So, that was cool, man. So they always just embraced me. And, but the thing that anybody like to see is you get out here and grind and do it yourself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, and then, just like with labels, then people jump in and push you. But I enjoy it. I've always been independent. One thing Ray told me was that, we had to kind of form and get Outkast to come together, and kind of, mold Outkast. When I came to him, I was already Jawz of Life. So it was just like, I knew what I wanted to do, and so he was like, dude, you don't really need, I'll help you, but,
right.
Do you? And that's, I had that frame of mind, going forward. But it's a privilege to be, I'm honored to be a part of, a world-renowned crew.
When I listen to your music, I hear, like I said, and literally it's only been like 2 months that I've come up on you.
Oh, we gotta catch up. Partner.
Yeah, we really do. I'm gonna need like all your music. Yeah. I need like, when I heard 2001, I'm like, wow, I'm like retarded. Right. How am I gonna be a DJ and I don't know about Jawz of Life?
Yeah, exactly. Right? We've been doing the show since 2002.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. So, but when I hear your voice, it's funny because I didn't know that you were working with Dungeon Family, but it was like I could hear that southern flavors. I didn't even know you from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So talk about your type of flow, your music. How did you develop your style, that kind of thing?
Well, I came up in the era, man, where you had to keep it 100. You know what I mean? And Timo called me the first time. Timo, he said, boy, you sound like a Southern J. And that kind of stuck with me, I try to, of course, but that's a compliment, the fact that you can hear what I'm saying, and the whole name of Jawz of Life came about as me I was watching the news one day, and the emergency Jawz of Life, and I saw him using it. I was like, wow, that'd be a dope name, to speak life from your mouth, from your jaws, to try to help people out of their situations. So that's where the name originated from. And then at the time, like I said, I was battling a little bit. So when you cut it down to Jawz, it became the EMC. So it just all kind of came together. But I don't know, man. It's just it just kind of stuck, The Mike and Life project, man. Like I said, it was a real special project. As artists, we go through times where we, I don't care what artists say. You go through some situations, man, where you just get in rush. You get, you can't really create and everything. So I was going through a period like that, and like I said, MFN hit me up and was like, Jawz, let's do a Mike dedication album. I was like, word. Yeah, let's do that. And they was like, man, we already got 25 tracks we can sing. You pick the best 10, let's run it. So we did, man, and it took us 8 days to complete the project. We put it out, I think it was put out on his birthday, and after he had passed or whatever. So it was a beautiful, and it's been getting crazy love, man. You can go online at what is it? It's Jawz of Life, JawzLife.bandcamp.com and check it out. And yeah, Google it, Mike and Life. It'll come up for you.
So you were saying that you were having like some creative issues, like you were, and was it when you heard these particular tracks, it just made it easier for you, or or was it because Michael Jackson is like, everybody loves Michael Jackson? It was really easy for you to do the lyrics for that.
Yeah, it was just like a marriage almost, man. It's like I was waiting at the time. I was just waiting on one to walk past me. And you know what I'm saying? And that opportunity walked past me. So with me being a Mike fan, I was just like, oh man, that's what I needed. I mean, it took me no time. I mean, stuff was just coming. Like I said, to put I think the album is 10 joints. To put that together in 8 days. I think is to be commended.
415-30-9734. Speaking of Mike, a lot of people know where they were when that happened, when they heard the news. Where were you at when you heard that Mike passed?
Oh man, I was in Kennesaw at work at a call center. I was like, oh Lord. internet done shut down. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was just like people I was going back and forth. People couldn't believe it, and it was crazy, man. Like I never forget where I was. That's one of the places. That's like a 9/11 shot right there.
Now, speaking of work, I saw you walk in with the Martyr jacket on. What's that about?
Nah, that's Pops, man. I'm Charles the Fourth, and Pops Charles the Third. Pops worked for Martyr for over 20 years. So I was at the crib, and I was like, he had on he walked in with the jacket. He retired now, but he walked in with the jacket. I said, man, you gotta let me rock that for a show. Me and you born and raised A-Town, so we got to, you know what I mean? I could rock it. So it had a name on it. So everywhere I go, everybody asks me about that jacket. Like Chaos gonna come here and say, you got a Martyr jacket? I was like, yeah, no, I got a Martyr jacket, man. Like, you can't tell me I ain't from A-Town, for real.
Now let's fast forward a little bit. You were talking about you moving to LA. Talk about that.
Right.
Why are you moving to LA?
Okay.
And the company that you're working with.
Word. Well, it's my cousin's company. Shout out to Bam and Melissa out there in LA holding it down. It's the Bobby Monroe Company. It's a film production company. We're doing a lot of writing and everything like that. Transitioning, like rappers do, transitioning over to the acting and scripts and things of that nature, man. Just to broaden the horizon, bring in different income streams, And I've been in the A a long time, all my life. So, just going to swat at some new fish, like I told you, in a different river. The pond water here is just, I love the A. I'm forever Atlanta, man. But it's just when you're sitting at the pond so long, and
you've gotten used to the fish.
You got used to the fish. They got used to the hook, and it's just time to go to a different stream.
So tell us about the company. What it is. What we can look into. What can we see? Is it out on the internet or on television, whatever?
We in the process. It's really startup. She's got the name and everything. The legality work on all of that now, and we're in the process of going to the website. It's the BMC company, the Bobby Monroe Company, and so I'll be blasting that too once we get everything up, and it's really in the beginning stages, man. So we all stepping out, just stepping out on faith and gonna make this thing work. Ain't no other options.